Hello and welcome, Westgate Community School. This is a special Friday Community Connect. We're going to be talking about Adams 12's bond and mill levy overrides that will be on November's ballot. If you have questions, please put them in the chat. And if I don't answer them during the presentation, I will try to answer them all after. We will be focused primarily on the blueprint, which is Adams 12's investing in student success. And if we get to 12 o'clock and I haven't answered them all, we will keep the chat and contact the families who we haven't answered all of their questions, but we want to respect everyone's time, and we'll end promptly at noon. So thank you so much for being here. We will jump right in. So Blueprint is about investing in student success. Adams 12 has worked about a year and a half on the Blueprint process, leading up to the decision by the Adams 12 Board of Education on August 28th to add two measures to the November ballot, one for a bond and one for a mill levy override. And hopefully through this presentation, you will get some factual information that will help you understand both of these measures a bit more. So Blueprint looks at both facilities and programming together rather than in isolation. Adams 12 is transforming the school environment where programming and building investments create the best possible experience for students, staff, and families. So Blueprint, it was work not only of the district, but all of school leaders, including charter leaders. It included community members, it included student voice. And so the guiding values were to create an environment where physical and human capital support all students to collaborate, communicate, think critically, problem solve, and apply digital literacy to thrive in today's ever-changing world, to access engaging learning experience through relevant and responsive programming, to experience high quality instruction and support from all staff, explore multiple pathways to success inside and outside of the classroom, and feel welcome, seen, valued, and safe. So there are two aspects to the funding proposals. One is facility investments, and that is under the bond, and then programming investments. And what we believe is they work together to create the best learning environment possible. The funding for these two things come from different sources, and voters will decide on two different funding mechanisms. Again, bond is for facilities, I think bond building, and the mill levy override, which pays for programming and salaries, and I think override operations. Let's see. So to get a little bit into the need in Adams 12 schools overall as a district, the district has 128 staff vacancies, and this was at the start of the school year. The COVID one-time funds for Adams 12 has run out. And so now that we're looking as a district to see how do we fund these positions that support students and academic. Right now, the district in their food services has food delivery going to each individual school. And what they would like to do with part of the bond funds is create a central warehouse where those deliveries can be made, and then the district itself can go out and make deliveries. This part of the bond would not impact charters, but this was one of the costs that they saw to bringing down the cost throughout the district. So due to a lack of centralized warehouse, they were paying double the cost of food delivery. And then they also have regular updates to critical safety systems. So the bond that the district is going for is $830 million, and the revenue would be invested in renewal. So critical updates to all buildings, such as roofs, plumbing, heating and cooling systems, parking lots, painting, furniture, school connectivity. These are all things, and I will talk specifically about what this will do for Westgate in a few slides. To rebuild, the district has prioritized rebuilding Thornton High School and the building of a central warehouse and scratch kitchen for the lunches for their schools. And then they want to reimagine. They want to expand CTE. We have Washington Square right across the street, and there's also the South CTE campus, right across the street from Thornton Middle or Thornton High School. And then also converting space within schools, so reimagining space within schools to create space for larger community gatherings, which will impact Westgate. The mill levy override, it's $34.5 million with a tax increase. The bond is a zero tax increase. The mill levy override, and I'll talk about this later, is about $20 more each month for a home valued at $500,000. And the revenue would be invested in here, attracting and retaining high quality teachers and staff, and also academic interventionists and mental health staff. So this is really about making sure that we have the staff for the programs that would be entering these new facilities. On the Adams 12 website, there is a virtual map. If you are interested in taking a closer look at the investment plan at all schools, including Westgate, please go to adams12.org, and it's /funding proposals. You'll see that right there. And you can see this interactive map and really look at what is Adams 12 looking to do at each school in the district with these funds, as well as what's happening at Westgate and what are the priorities at Westgate, which I'm going to go into next. But this is a wonderful resource if you're just looking for that factual information, is what's happening, what's happening at the neighborhood school closest to my home, what's happening at all of the different locations throughout the district. So at Westgate, when we think of building interiors or the bond, the Westgate board had CDE come and do a facilities assessment this summer. That gave us a priority list, as well as the priorities that the board has had over time based upon feedback from staff and from families in the past for the master plan. The number one priority is to replace or upgrade our HVAC system for efficiency and more consistent temperature control and comfort throughout the building for our students and staff. That's number one. And then we have also identified building a gym with a stage as a priority. The CDE also said that was a programmatic priority for the school. Building out a science lab, upgrading our music classroom space to be more acoustically sound and in a better location away from classrooms and offices. And then add additional large group or collaborative spaces, what was identified. And then knowing that we will be needing to repaint the interior walls within the next coming years, as well as just regular maintenance to our school. For the mill levy override, highlights for Westgate would be staffing and programming in increasing compensation to compete and attract and retain top tier staff. I would argue Westgate has some of the best teachers and staff members, support staff, and we want to keep them here. And so being able to be competitive in a market is really important. And what Adams 12 has found in the 15 Denver metro area school districts right now in mill levy override dollars, Adams 12 is 13 out of 15. So we rate 13th out of 15 districts in the Denver metro area. If all of the mill levy overrides that are going to the ballot in those 15 schools pass, Adams 12 will move up to 9 out of 15. So we can become more competitive at that place. But if all of the mill levy overrides pass but Adams 12, we will fall to 14 out of 15. So we become less competitive to attract and retain the top talent for the classrooms and for student support and for community support when we think of our office staff and people like that around the building, our facilities staff who keep the school running for our families. And then also provide opportunities for students to develop life skills and access to mental health support. So those two things that have been highlighted by Adams 12 is where Westgate would be focusing the mill levy override funds that would be coming to Westgate Community School. Again, the cost for the facilities or the building and bond, it's no tax increase. And for the mill levy override that goes to programming and staff, so override operations, it'd be $20 a month increase for a home valued at $500,000. And that's the mill levy override. So these are some facts for you to take with you to the ballot in November. If you have more questions about the bond or mill levy override, you can look to the Adams 12 site. We also have a link from our website to the blueprint pages at Adams 12, so you can get more information. And the district will be having more town halls and meetings with very much the same information that I'm sharing with you today. So if your question is, our charters, is Westgate going to benefit from the funds from the bond? Yes. And will Westgate receive mill levy override funds? Yes. We have the blueprint sign out. You can, again, take a look at that interactive map to see the projects that are have been highlighted both by Colorado Department of Education, but also Adams 12 and the Westgate Board of Directors as projects that would be on the table. Now, I'm going to put a plug in here. Westgate is writing a grant, a BEST grant, for the HVAC upgrades that we would like to do, because we don't want all of the bond funds to be going to the upgrade of our HVAC system. The estimates that we have coming in to redo our HVAC are between $5 and $7 million. So we don't want all of the bond funds that we get to go to that one project. So if you are interested in helping us with the BEST grant, please email grants@westgateschool.org. We're going to be coming together to build that BEST grant, so that then bond funds are only a bit of a matching fund for that grant. And then that will leave us more funds to be able to use for those other projects which impact student life here, like the gym with the stage. Now I'm going to switch gears to the 2024 CMAS, School Performance Framework. This was just released by CDE. And I wanted to share with you some great news. Westgate Community School is once again in the performance plan area. We rated 81.3 out of 100 points. You will see our academic achievement meets state expectation, our academic growth meets state expectations, and post-secondary and workforce readiness exceeds the state expectations. Our school, and I'm going to give a little shout out to our teachers and students, grew over 8 points between 2023 and 2024 on the school performance framework. And that is a huge feat. To grow that much in a year was really fantastic, and I think speaks to the work that our teachers and students are doing. And then I also wanted to show you each level of the school. So elementary covers 3rd through 5th grade of testing, but I want to include our kindergarten and 2nd through 2nd grade teachers as well, because the work that's being done in kindergarten through 2nd grade is setting up our 3rd graders to do well and meet expectations on this state test. And then 3rd through 5th grade, we're meeting in both achievement and growth. Our 6th through 8th graders are also meeting in achievement and growth. Our high schoolers are meeting in achievement. They're exceeding in growth and exceeding in post-secondary workforce and readiness. So I'm thrilled to share this great news. We will be taking CMAS again in April after spring break. We will be getting those dates out to parents so they know when they are. We did have low total participation. We were just under that 90% at 89.7%. However, we did have parent excusals. So we rated, we met the 95% participation because our parents followed the rules to excuse their students out of the testing. So I want to thank our families, thank our students, and also thank our teachers for the hard work that they have given to increase the scores this way and keep Westgate at the performance level. I'm going to take a look at the chat. That's really all the factual information that I have about the bond and about the mill levy override, and then just presenting those SPF scores to you as a community. Are there any questions about the bond or mill levy override? And I'll let you know if I can answer them or not answer them. In this kind of arena, Westgate staff can answer when we're on duty, you know, with factual information and not with sort of our own opinions. So I'll give just a few minutes. Michelle, are you seeing any questions?
So far.
Okay. I know this was a short Friday Community Connect, but it really is important information, not only for our school, but our community. So register to vote. Your voice matters, no matter how you're going to vote on these measures. It's really important that the community is heard.
Someone's typing, so.
Okay. We don't have the specific mill levy override dollars to our school yet. It will depend because we are right now in that October count window. So mill levy override dollars are connected to our per pupil count. So they can't give us those numbers until after October. So, you know, the district is looking at a 2% raise, and our board, once we get those numbers, can then look at our budget and let the community know how those dollars will be spent for our community. I will say last year, I'm really proud of our board of directors and really grateful to our board of directors because the increase for Westgate staff last year was quite a bit above percentage-wise what the Adams 12 teachers received. Westgate teachers are in alignment with Adams 12. That has been a priority of our board to keep Westgate salaries at or above Adams 12 district. And we have been able to do that. And with the larger increase last year, there are many of our teachers who started who are making above their peers within the district. So that is really exciting. And that is in alignment across the board, all of the categories. So that's been the focus of the board and a priority of the board to make sure our teachers and staff are paid. Thank you for those questions. And it really allows us to highlight the great work that the board of directors are doing at Westgate and the priority they take in compensating the Westgate teachers and staff. I'll wait. There is not a salary schedule with step increases. That is a something that the district does, and it's through the negotiations with the teachers union in Adams 12. We have a starting salary, and then every year the board looks at the budget and determines what raise we can give. So every year it's a little different, and it actually gives great power and flexibility to our board of directors that if PPR increases more than expected. Like last year, it was around 10%, and we knew that costs for things were going up. But instead of doing a 3% raise that the district did within their steps, our board was able to do for teachers a 6% raise. So that's quite a wonderful thing for our teachers and a great power for our board that they do not have to follow the lockstep negotiations of the district. They were actually able to provide a larger raise for our teachers. Thank you, Terry, for posting that link. It is part of our financial transparency page that you can see where our teachers land. Oh, I agree. Being able to pay our staff and teachers as best we can, again, is a priority of our board of directors and a priority for our leadership. It's been amazing since I came 12 years ago. Our teachers started around $30,000, and to see that that's almost doubled in the time that I'm here is really exciting, and it's really necessary for the hard work that professionals in our building. Agreed. And then Dan houses. Yes, it has been a priority of the board, and I appreciate that. And it's always a focus. What can we do for our teachers? This is for certified staff, different positions, otherwise like all other positions, we post what, when the job posting goes out, what the range is. And so those are different, but that is for the teaching staff, certified staff, and that includes interventionists and counselors and things like that. And then, of course, the longer they've been here, the more they diverge from that, because our board has made that a priority. So their salaries have increased at a faster rate than Adams 12. There's no set number yet, because we don't have those dollar amounts. So once we know from the mill levy override based upon our per pupil count, then we can start to look at raises versus do we need other positions. And so that would be the determining factor. And then using those mill levy override dollars, we would have to make sure that we're in alignment with what the blueprint outlines in terms of retaining and attracting high quality teachers and staff, as well as mental health support. So there's no determination yet, not until we get those numbers, and then that will be brought to the board and they can help make some of those decisions around budget. We also want to make sure that any raises that we're doing are able to be sustainable over time. And so the board is always looking at that. What will it cost, this year, but next year and the years following? Yeah, the CMAS growth has been great. We had a wonderful celebration with staff, and I think that they're seeing that all of the work and sort of incremental changes that are being made along the way are really impacting kids' achievement and growth. So we couldn't be more proud of our teachers and more grateful to them for their work, and we couldn't be more proud of our students. I know. When you talk about a high performing school, and we've been performance for so long, to keep growing is something that we're excited about. And it's something that has been pointed out to us that's really quite remarkable. So we will keep growing. And we always say every student deserves to grow at least a year's worth in a year's time. And that's the focus, and that's what we continue working on. And the interventionists that we hired have really been a piece of that, because our interventionists don't just work with students that need scaffolding and support growing at the lower achievement end. They're also pushing our higher end and our gifted kids. And so intervention happens at both ends of the spectrum. And so we really want to make sure that our high achieving and our gifted students are pushed to grow each and every year. And those interventionist positions have made that even more impactful throughout the building. Typing. No, that's the thing. With CMAS, it is just a snapshot, and it's a snapshot of a very short time. And that's why we do other assessments. We do culture surveys and climate surveys. We're always measuring and looking at data. And then our SAC committee is looking at it as well, like how do we change? What are some focus areas that we can get better and better at? And we will continue to do that. CMAS, yes, it doesn't look at social studies at all. It only looks at science in 5th, 7th, and 11th grade. So there are some missing pieces of CMAS, but it is a measure that is constant throughout the state. So it does help us look at how are we growing compared to other schools, how do we measure up within the district, and it can help us focus on, you know, where do we work on next, what do we do next. Oh, wonderful. We were picked social studies. That's random. So social studies will be 4th and 7th. And I'm sorry, science is 5th, 8th, and 11th. So that's really exciting because we haven't taken it in years. Oh, we just got the notice this morning. Fantastic. So as a past social studies teacher, that gives me great joy because we don't measure that program very often. So that we get to take that test this year will give us a little bit more data to look at what do we need to be doing within that program throughout our school and K-8 and look at that measure. So that's fantastic news. So social studies this year, exciting. Don't see any more.
Seeing any more questions coming through? Oh, one more,
Oh,
but
yeah.
and I'd like to just kind of put out there too, for anybody on this call or whatnot. We do have that blueprint information on our website under the About Us section. So you'll see blueprint underneath there, and you can find that information. And there is also a link there to Adam's 12 page, as well as a link to our sheet of what we would be looking to do. So if you ever need that information, that's available for you.
Yeah. And thank you all very much for being here today. We're happy to give you all of this information. Knowledge is power. And then also when you see your students this afternoon, and if they were 3rd through 11th graders last year, really congratulate them on the work that they've done and the growth that they've made, not only as individuals, but as a community of learners. Like, it's really a wonderful thing to celebrate. So thank you so much. And please let us know if you have any questions. You can always email teachers, APs, principal, me. And also we have conferences next week. So if you haven't already, make sure you've signed up for conferences. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.